A slime in a world of monarchs, Tensura X solo leveling by Void King. Before Rimuru arrived in Japan, Sung divided the guild members into 3 teams. Park Hee and Jin Ho would be the number Team 1, Cha Hei and Song Yi number Team 2, and Kanae along with her former guildmate Minoru Hoshino number will be Team 3. Sung Jin Woo would go alone with his shadows. Sung Jin Woo didn't bring any equipment with him. Sung along with the others would help the survivors while killing the giants. If necessary they would escape with the saved people if they failed to defeat the enemy. Although that wouldn't be a problem, they were strong enough to handle a giant. In the case of Cha Hei and Song Yi they can take on up to 3 giants at the same time. For her part Kanae was held back by Hoshino who couldn't keep up with her. So he was entrusted by Kanae with the security of the citizens, so Kanae would focus only on annihilating giants. And so he did. He had at least 10 in those days. They would be more if they weren't scattered all over Japan. This is good for my training, Kanae murmured, wiping the blood off her katanas, and the memory of who was helping her train came to her mind. Get well soon, Rimuru. In another city in Japan there were Park Hee and Jin Ho. They, along with the shadows of Sung, were the ones who saved the most lives. Park Hee used healing magic on Jin Ho during battle and on injured civilians when they rested, which took a lot of energy and exhaustion. The Ajin Guild needed a healer since Park Hee doesn't specialize in healing after all. On the other hand, Song Yi and Cha Hei took down every giant they saw. They understood each other's style well and managed to make a good pair, which helped in the speed that they finished with the monsters. Cha Hei noticed that Song Yi was getting a little more skilled and stronger with each battle. How could that be? Was she the same as Sung Jin Woo? The hunter had many questions in her mind. Maybe she should talk to Sung and Rimuru. Back with Sung Jin Woo, he used his shadows to help people and kill giants at the same time. As he eliminated monsters, his army grew, turning them into shadows, which made his job easier. As soon as he felt Rimuru's fearsome presence he sighed, it would all be over much faster. I hope I can extract the shadow of all the giants, he thought, hoping that Rimuru did not use the ability to absorb monsters on them. The Ajin Guild hunters approached the portal. There they found Rimuru sitting on a rock. The blue-haired boy smiled at them and waved his hand up as if that was normal. Master. Song Yi hugged Rimuru with all her might. We're surprised about your arrival, but it was very sudden. How did you do it? Jin Ho asked curiously. Yeah, some people say you came from the sky, Park Hee added. Hunter Sung is inside the portal? Cha Hei asked, looking at the portal. Yes, he's taking care of the boss, doesn't interrupt him, he ordered. And as for how I got here, let's say I went by plane. Rimuru noticed Kanae's intense gaze on him and smiled at the worried girl. You're not well, right? The Japanese girl questioned as she connected her gaze with Rimuru's. I don't understand how you noticed, Rimuru said. Not even Jin Woo had noticed. Don't worry, I haven't forced myself. You better not do it. You are dragging a lot in a short time. First the S-rank portal of Korea, then using all your energy to save Jin-ah, and now killing giants. It seemed like a scolding, but in reality, Kanae only cares about Rimuru's health more than himself. Sorry guys, I have to go. Something urgent happened. Jin Ho informed everyone and run to the helicopter that would take him to Korea. He didn't know it, but his father had fallen into eternal sleep. Sung Jin Woo walked out of the portal thinking about everything Gaia said, about the rulers and monarchs, that the land would become the fighting ground and everyone would die. Upon arriving he notices the absence of his best friend. Luckily for him, Rimuru explained that something urgent had happened and he got an idea of what it could be. Hey, let's upload a photo to Instagram to celebrate completing the S-rank dungeon, Park Hee suggested. Everyone gathered to take the photo, and then Park Hee uploaded it to the guild's Instagram and her personal Instagram. She made sure to add Jin Ho's that even though he wasn't in the photo he had been just as important as everyone. Sung Jin Woo used his trading ability to return to Korea to help Jin Ho's father. The others approached the plane that would take them back home. Kanae. Rimuru called as he walked. Come here for a second. The black-haired girl approached Rimuru and they both stayed a little behind the others. I want to upload a photo on Instagram, just us, is that okay with you? He asked with his cell phone camera ready. Sure, if it doesn't do any harm. That was how Rimuru uploaded a photo with Kanae to his Instagram, his first post that had thousands of reactions in minutes. Wait, one more, Rimuru said, and at the moment of taking the selfie, he kissed Kanae's cheek, causing her to blush slightly. Kanae was going to protest but gave up on seeing Rimuru's smile. Send it to me by message, Kanae said at the airport. They were fired in a big way, with people thanking and supporting them. Korea, Seoul, Ajin Guild. Days passed since the return to Korea. Jin-woo resolved Jin-ho's father's illness, and Rimuru began to secretly train Jin-ah. What was unexpected was Adam White's visit to the guild office. Thank you for allowing me this meeting. Suddenly showing up at the office is not a meeting, Jin-woo said. It's true, I apologize for that. The American introduced himself to Rimuru and Jin-woo. Very well, Adam, tell me the reason for your visit, Rimuru asked. Adam explained the death of Christopher Red and showed who was the suspected culprit. Jin-woo was enraged when Adam showed a picture of his father, and tried to attack him but was stopped by Rimuru. Please, explain yourself better, Rimuru requested, withdrawing Jin-woo's dagger a few millimeters from Adam's face. This man came out of a dungeon. He is believed to be a monster due to his energy and he attacked our hunters. He even easily defeated an S rank, he quickly explained. Why are you telling us all this? Jin-woo questioned. At the International Trade Union Conference to be held in the USA, this fact will be announced and the suspect in question will be marked as red. This is something to be thankful for. Imagine how you would react if your father's photo appeared out of nowhere at the conference, Rimuru muttered. The United States government wants to maintain a good relationship with you. That's why I came to notify you of this, Adam clarified. Now that we have lost a national-level hunter, everything necessary will be used to catch the culprit, he added. I understand, thanks for telling me. Jin-woo stood up and disappeared, leaving a confused-looking shadow, waved, and walked out the door. Well, Mr. Adam White, I guess you are not here just to tell Jin-woo that. Yes, Mr. Rimuru Tempest, I have a proposal and some questions. All of the Ajin Guild members traveled to the USA for the International Guild Conference, including Jin-ah. Their guild is representing Korea this year. The plane will land shortly, don't unfasten your seatbelt. Song-yi. The plane will land soon. Rimuru warned his student who was sleeping like a log. He shook her a little to wake her up. I am awake, she stretches out in her seat. I feel so tired. Go straight to the hotel as soon as we arrive. The conference is at night, so rest until then. Yeah, I think I'll do that, Song-yi replied with a smile. Being on American soil, they were greeted by many people asking for autographs and photos, especially Sung Jin-woo and Rimuru Tempest. The majority went to the hotel to sign some autographs. Jin-woo was guided by Adam White to the Association of Hunters where they would offer the rune from a dragon named Kamish. I'm not going to write everything that happened with Kamish. I feel that it is unnecessary, in a certain way. On the other hand, Rimuru met with Norma Selner at the request of Adam White to check his abilities. What we agreed was that they wouldn't bother me again once they saw that I don't need them, right? Rimuru extended his hand. Go ahead, Mrs. Selner. That's right, she held Rimuru's hand in hers. I'll start now. Norma Selner made use of her ability to see Rimuru's potential and how much she could help him increase his strength. To his surprise, he had no limits, just like Sung Jin-woo. But he was different. It's like he was some kind of god at play. He just didn't understand such energy and ability. Red eyes fixed hers and forced her to finish. Those eyes, it was terrifying, Norma whispered as she felt that she could have died before those eyes. Seal must have scared her, Rimuru thought. Mrs. Selner, Rimuru called to get her out of the shock. Are we done here? Why yes, it's done, he answered with fear. In that case, I'm leaving. Remember to tell your superiors not to bother me again. At night, Sung Jin-woo had a bad feeling. Almost all the guild members had arrived, but only his sister and Jin-ho remained. The shadow that Jin-ah had disappeared when she was revived by Rimuru and he didn't put another one back. That's a big mistake on his part. And Jin-ho had no shadow since he used it in exchange to save his father. Master, it's most likely Wang Dong-su, since Sung Jin-woo murdered his brother in the past, Seal notified. But Jin-ho is strong, He wouldn't be defeated easily. He must be using Jin Ah to blackmail Jin Ho, Rimuru thought. Do you know Wang Dong-su? Rimuru asked Jin Woo in a whisper. Sung Jin Woo nodded silently, instantly understanding that something might have happened with Jin Ho and Jin Ah. He won't try anything against you, but he could go after Jin Ho and your sister, he said with mincing words. I have a bad feeling, let's find them. You don't need to say it. Jin Woo dashed out of the building and sent his shadows out to search. Before moving, Rimuru explained to his guildmates what was going on, so everyone would get going. Listen to me, everyone, he raised his voice with noticeable anger. If someone hurts a member of my guild, I'll kill them myself, he warned. Thomas Andre realized what was happening and mobilized his entire guild to find Wang Dong-su. Even the U.S. Hunters Association got involved. The minutes were desperate for Sung Jin Woo, knowing that his little sister and best friend were in danger infuriated him. And he blamed himself for not having put shadows on them. How could he forget something like that? Seal doing mischief. Nearly 30 minutes later, he felt Rimuru's force being released. He shuddered for a second and then traded places with the shadow closest to the spot. As soon as he got to the place, he noticed two dead guys, Wang Dong-su's henchmen. He ran to Jin Ho and her sister. Jin Ah, are you hurt? He asked, worried about the crying of his sister who couldn't speak. Brother. She's fine, Jin Ho whispered with what little strength he had left. I didn't let them touch a hair. Jin Woo rushed to give Jin Ho healing potions, but his health was too low to take effect. Summoning Kaizel and Igras, he went up to Jin Ho and ordered them to take him to the nearest hospital. When his guildmates arrived, he left them to look after Jin Ah. Stop! Thomas Andre yelled as he arrived on the scene. Wang Dong-su, are you alive? For now he is, Rimuru answered, speaking in English. I see you understand me. Let him go and I'll forget what happened tonight, Thomas offered. And if we don't want to? Sung Jin Woo stepped between them, and Rimuru hit Wang Dong-su again. Don't you know who I am? Thomas asked a little angrily. I don't give a shit about who you are, Jin Woo replied. A strong fight was about to start, Sung Jin Woo against national level hunter Thomas Andre. Before starting the chapter, I must clarify something. There are 5 national level hunters mentioned in solo leveling, of which 4 seized power from the rulers. Thomas Andre is one of them, and he fights with Jin Woo. Christopher Red was another, but he is dead. The point is that the other 2 who borrowed the power of the rulers in solo leveling don't appear, so in order not to leave Rimuru without action, he will fight with one of them, invented by me. All the members of the Scavenger Guild rushed into the fight against the shadows of Sung Jin Woo and the members of the Ah Jin Guild. If you admit that you're wrong, I'll forgive you and let you live, Thomas Andre exclaimed and received Jin Woo's raised middle finger in response. You're going to regret not taking advantage of this opportunity. I'm going to kill this bastard, Thomas thought angrily, making his muscles grow. He easily crushed Jin Woo's shadows that got in his way and took a great leap to land near the Koreans. He watched as Jin Woo killed his guildsmen and turned them into shadows. Move! He yelled, hitting a shadow that previously worked for him, but at that moment he lost sight of Jin Woo. Jin Woo took advantage of that to attack him, at great speed, and without giving him time to react, he hit Thomas's torso with his daggers but failed to pierce his skin, which surprised him. Are you underestimating the strength of a national level hunter? Thomas asked with a smile and landed a hard punch on Jin Woo's stomach that sent him flying. Psychokinesis? Jin Woo thought as he was suddenly pulled down by Thomas. Feel the difference between our strength and despair, he exclaimed, feeling victorious, but suddenly he felt very heavy. Jin Woo had activated Dominator's Touch to prevent Thomas from moving and landed a heavy blow to Thomas's neck that sent the American flying away. I'm bleeding? Thomas Andre couldn't believe it. What did you say? Do you feel the difference between our strength and despair? Jin Woo asked sarcastically, starting a chain of blows all over Thomas's body. Thomas was unable to avoid the blows. He was not facing someone ordinary. Very well. I'll stop underestimating you now. She smiled and her body began to glow, hardening. Thomas Andre used the power of the rulers to enter his form known as the Goliath. He hit the ground with both of his arms, which caused the entire floor to be destroyed and the factory where they were fighting to collapse. Song Jin-woo jumped away to avoid getting hit, and he watched him sitting from above and thinking. Thomas André stretched out an arm and opened his hand in the direction of Jin-woo. "Grab," he said, and sent a kind of sphere that began to absorb everything around it, shadows, huge pieces of iron, whatever was sucked. What an incredible force! If it weren't for the authority of the ruler, I would have been attracted, Jin-woo thought. "I won't fail this time," Thomas warned Jin-woo. Thomas took another big leap to get to Jin-woo, but the now serious Korean simply placed his foot on Thomas's face and sent him flying. The American activated, seizure, again. Jin-woo received it without being bothered and activated, ruler's hand, to lure Thomas away. Is he attracting me now? Is he planning to face me head on? I'll welcome him, Thomas thought at that moment. Reinforcement. Thomas activated and threw his fist against Jin-woo's. To his surprise to see how his armor and arm were broken, while Jin-woo was still serious. He crashed into the ironwork of the destroyed factory and got up, but Jin-woo was already in front of him. He threw a punch that was dodged and felt Jin-woo's hands take hold of the horns protruding from the helmet of his armor, and then a knee strike from Jin-woo that destroyed half of his helmet. No one should be able to do him such harm, which made him even angrier. "I am Thomas André. Do you think this is enough to defeat me?" he yelled, escaping from the grasp. "I already told you, I don't care who you are," Jin-woo replied with hate in his voice and anger reflected on his face, elbowing Thomas in the back. He cornered Thomas, who was the top one hunter in the world, who always demolished everything, and who used his strength to be feared. Now Thomas was being torn apart by someone much stronger. Sung Jin-woo continued to beat him until Thomas's armor was destroyed. He had broken all of Thomas's bones, and the only reason he continued to live was that he was national level. "It's over," Thomas said, and Jin-woo stopped his attacks. "I lost." Thomas André had been brutally defeated in front of many people by Sung Jin-woo. While Sung Jin-woo dealt with Thomas André, Rimuru continued to use thought acceleration on Wang Dong-soo while healing him from dying. He was like that for several minutes until he felt a presence larger than normal, close to the level of Thomas André. Another national level hunter, he thought, and looked in the direction where the force came from. A tall man with white hair, brown skin, and elegantly dressed, probably for the guild conference that was supposed to be held at that time. Rimuru noticed it well. That man was fast and precise. That hunter's name is Edgar Munchen. He is one of the survivors of the Kamish Dragon's dungeon breakout, Seal informed. Kanae and Song Yi were fighting as a team against him. The difference in strength was obvious, but both of them could do a bit of damage to him if they did it right. "Sting," Edgar whispered, and two ice picks came out of his hands. One pierced through Kanae's stomach and the other was dodged by Song Yi. Park Hee used magic to strengthen her friends, and Jin Ah used what she had learned from Rimuru to heal Kanae. "Master, I recommend you calm down," Seal said, feeling that Rimuru's anger didn't go down, but went up when he saw that for a moment Kanae was hurt. "Seal, before traveling you said that we should bring someone, right?" Rimuru asked. "Yes, Master. I want you to bring Ultima here so she can have fun," he ordered. Almost instantly the demon appeared next to her lord. She was wearing her typical fighting clothes. "Rimuru-sama, I'm so glad to see you," Ultima exclaimed, smiling. "Ultima, I want you to annihilate everyone who gets close to them." He pointed in the direction of Kanae and the others. "I don't care how you do it." Hearing his words, the demon smiled, amused. They had made her lord angry and she could help him. She definitely wasn't going to let him down. "But that one is mine." He pointed at Edgar. "As you order." He made a small bow and addressed the girls to dismember whoever approaches. At a slow pace, Rimuru approached Edgar and they looked at each other squarely. "You won't touch her again," Rimuru whispered in the hunter's ear, which he couldn't notice when he had positioned himself behind him. Much less reacted to the kick that Rimuru landed on his back, sending him crashing into several buildings. Edgar was surprised and angry at the same time. Perhaps he had been careless? "You're not ordinary," he said, standing up and looking at Rimuru in front of him. "But believe me, I'm much more extraordinary than you. I recommend you use your transformation from the beginning," Rimuru said, taking off his dark coat. "Don't think I'm going to play." Edgar watched him. Rimuru was very dangerous. He knew it very well just by looking at him. He wasn't holding back a bit of his power. Despite everything, he smiled. He didn't plan on dying to help Thomas, but he wouldn't let them humiliate him either. Okay, I'll give you the pleasure of dying in my hands. Like Thomas, he used the power he got from the rulers. He donned an ice armor and wasted no time creating many ice spikes and launching in Rimuru's direction. The blue-haired man sliced through them with great ease with his storm sword, without even moving from his place. That's all. Without answering, Edgar created an ice room where he trapped himself with Rimuru. A countless number of attacks poured out through the ice walls, ceiling, and floor. But none managed to reach Rimuru. He dodged them without taking his eyes off Edgar. He noticed Edgar didn't have many tricks. It was a waste that he had such power despite his precision. If it wasn't for Rimuru, he was almost certain that he would have killed his enemy in that ice room. Rimuru ignited a flame in the palm of his hand and the room began to melt smoothly. Your ice is useless in front of me. Edgar thought about it for a moment. He had no chance against Rimuru, so he would escape. He created several walls of ice between them to mislead Rimuru and left an ice clone of himself to start escaping. He had been several blocks away. He thought he had made it. Did you think you'd escape? He heard Rimuru's voice behind him and his blood ran cold. He used all of his strength to try to stop Rimuru's advance, but it was useless. At that moment no one could stop Rimuru. He plunged the storm sword into Edgar's stomach, then set fire to him from within. I feel a little sorry for you. You arrived at the moment I needed to vent my anger, Rimuru said before Edgar's screams. Very little pity, and ended the life of the national level hunter.